Welcome to an all-new season of Wake It Up with Corey Love. Many of you may know me as journalist, writer, even as an executive producer, but now podcast host. And what a way to kick off my first season with someone who is legendary to the culture. She's done iconic things, and I call her a really dear friend. Welcome to the show, Maia Campbell. All right, beautiful. You ready to rock this thing out?
What's up, Corey?
Look, you ready?
Oh my God.
Let's make this thing. Let's wake it up. So take us back to the beginning. Where are you from? All that good stuff.
I usually tend to say I'm from LA. I have such a West Coast passion and love and spirit. Rest in peace, Nipsey. All that good stuff. But I was literally born in Maryland.
Okay.
And I left DC when I was very young. So my memories tend to be from South Central LA, where I'm from, on the dead homies. Like
Not on the dead homies.
On the dead homies. Yes.
Okay. So talk to me, because I know your mom, she moved across country. She had dreams not only for herself, but for you too. She's like, hey.
My mom ended up being nominated for a Pulitzer Prize, which most Black women that are authors haven't reached that level of success. She had a lot of success as an author. My mother was a writer. She was a journalist first, and then she became, she had a radio show for NPR.
Okay.
And she did a lot for Essence Magazine, if anybody remembers Essence Magazine. And
Essence still popping.
she was friends with Terry McMillan. She was friends with Oprah. She was a well-rounded working woman in the 90s. She wrote a book called 72 Hour Hold, which I still would like someone to produce and make a movie.
And we're going to make that happen.
Because it was a story about a girl with mental illness and her battle with drugs and her relationship with her mother. And it was a good woman's piece, something that, for women to understand the dynamic between mother and daughter. I was hoping somebody like Jada and Willow. I don't know, somebody, a literal mother and daughter would play the role.
If I can add to that, because, we're going to get into your life story, but like, I also think like with your mother in that book, it was so informative and so well written that I also felt like that it was a guide on how to help you.
Yeah.
And help others.
And it was a map on where we'd come from with all the ups and downs and all the exact points where things fell apart at times and where we had to pick up and regroup and like, that ain't working. We got to do something else. She's off the wagon again, or, she's, unhappy, for God's sake, there are times when children's happiness is all their mother's focus. Everything their mother wants is for their children to be happy.
Agreed.
And to be whole. And sometimes that's a struggle for families in the Black community especially.
Yeah, so just taking it back to the beginning, one thing that most of us know that are very close to you is how much your mother really wanted the best for you and investing in you and putting you in the best things. So talk to us about, I know it was very important for her to get you into into a special high school. So talk to us about that.
I had the best doctors. I had the best schools. I had the best churches. When your mother works so hard at making your life complete, I mean, she bore the weight of being a divorced mother. That was the first thing. When she left my dad, I think she tried to compensate with everything in her power to make my life completely full of things that she couldn't give back. She couldn't give the relationship with her husband back to me.
Okay.
And it as a very little girl, I did exhibit emotional problems.
Okay.
You know, but she learned to manage it with a lot of activities, after school activities, they used to call them.
Yeah.
And, like reading and stand up there in church and show them what you got. Give me all kinds of platforms to cultivate a new reality, because the reality I was living in was torn.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So in terms of, I know you said you left DC, and I know that there's also like the impact of divorce and stuff. Talk to us about your father too, because he was the man. And like, was it football?
My dad played football, and he went to Germantown High School. If anybody from Philly knows about Overbrook and Germantown and Girls High, these were our parents' high schools. I don't know where Kevin Hart went to high school, but he says he's from North Philly. I don't know. I still don't believe it. I was like, you really from Philly? But no, yeah, my dad went to Germantown and he went to Penn State, and he's a Kappa. And he played football for all of those places, and he ended up going back to Penn State in the mid-90s, and he got his master's degree in architectural design. So he got to travel and work for the UN. He worked for the United Nations. They sent him to you ain't gonna believe this. They sent him to Cambodia.
Oof.
And then they sent him to Phnom Penh, Cambodia. They sent him to Ho Chi Minh City. They sent him all over Asia. And when I was in high school, my dad was traveling all over Asia, teaching English and teaching art design to children of other nations.
You came from amazing parents. I know that it was very important that your mother invested into this particular high school because she saw something in you. What high school was that? Like, I know it was...
I went to Crossroads, but there were other schools. Like, it was like a secret society. It was like Brentwood, Crossroads, Santa Monica, Mark Wahlberg, Robin Thicke. I knew all. Leonardo DiCaprio used
Here
to...
y'all are making it happen.
No,
I would
really
beg to just mop
come
the
to
floor.
the house. Low key, yeah.
So you go to this school, Crossroads. What was so like prestigious about this school?
I mean, the cost and the fact that you had to test, and the fact that you got to pick your own. Like, they didn't pick the classes for you, and they had brand new buildings, and then like at lunchtime we could like go to the mall, like stuff like that. Like, we didn't have to like stay on campus. It wasn't restrictive. It wasn't like they, like East Side High, they had to like check for guns and stuff at
so
the
it was
door.
none of that going on.
None of that going on. No.
So during your high school years, I know something that was really important and something that matters so much to the culture. There was Poetic Justice. Mm-hmm. Talk to us about that. How did that come about? That's a culture classic.
That was amazing.
Like
Robbie Reed was the casting director on that one. And we flew to Oakland from Los Angeles. They flew us in, and we got to meet Tupac. We got to meet Pac, bro. Okay. I met Pac when I was 15. Yes.
But did you get to meet Janet?
Not until later, like in my life.
But did you know at the time, you were 15 years old, right? Did you know at the time that the movie would be so big, especially like today? Like,
I was sitting on the steps with John Singleton. It was a row house, like the row houses that they were shooting at, and they weren't shooting on a set, so it was literally somebody's house we were shooting at. Okay. So the people who let us use their house to film, they called all their friends, and like they, like every time the camera said cut, we'd go outside, be a crowd of people, and they'd all be around like Pac, and Pac will be doing stunts on his motorcycle for them. And I remember John Singleton. I'm sitting on the steps with John Singleton, and he's talking about all the merch. And this is before they didn't do merch back then. I agree. No. Movies didn't come up with merch. He's had an amazing idea for merch. And I said, well, let me get a Poetic Justice jacket. He said, all right, I got your jacket, kid. And he treated me like, oh, shut up, kid, but I got your jacket. But no, he gave me the jacket. I got the Poetic Justice jacket. And I just saw, like, recently while I was in the streets again, like, all these Poetic Justice sweatshirts and T-shirts.
I have a few T-shirts myself.
They're so popular. Like, yeah.
And so then you go to, and let me correct me if I'm wrong, still kind of like during high school time, here comes the sitcom South Central.
Right.
Was that during high school?
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about that. How did that come about? Because that was,
again,
I feel like that show was so ahead of its time.
With the leading men in Hollywood, leading men like Lorenz Tate, Tupac, LL Cool J. I've worked with all of them, Tyrese, and they all had different energy. They gave me different key points and like ways to expand and grow as a woman. And I don't know if it's I don't know what they taught me as a woman, but they taught me as an actor, you know, like how to carry my own weight and how to carry the lead and stand by their side and how to approach them and deal with them when you're dealing with a leading man, especially African American leading man in Hollywood. You have to be versatile with your approach. I mean, if you're going to deal with this one and that one and
so what was it like working with Lorenz on South Central?
Lorenz don't even like me.
Why do you say that? Don't say that. Come on.
I used to try so hard to get his approval. I started rapping. One time I started rapping we had a break on the show on South Central.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a break, like the audience break, when the director is changing the set around and he's let the audience kind of fend for themselves, and the comedian comes out and he talks to the audience. So during the break, they had like a talent show, like a little, you know, like a little freestyle moment. So I came out and I freestyled. And that's like the only time Lorenz Tate paid attention to me. He did not really pay attention to me at all.
So you wanted his attention though.
I mean, I guess it's my job to get, you know, brownie points from like the leading guy. If I'm the girl, you know, I don't want him to hate me.
Yeah.
I don't want him to do something to stab me in the back or make me look bad.
But from like the audience standpoint, it looked as if like y'all had great chemistry. Because the acting was top tier.
We had decent chemistry. We had okay chemistry.
I think that role
it
of
wasn't
Nicole,
like Tyrese. It wasn't like Tyrese, but it was okay. It was okay.
Why do you feel like he didn't like you?
Because I heard him when I think I was young, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
So my level of understanding wasn't quite where it was in the future, you know? It wasn't like my level of acceptance. I bet if I saw him today, we'd be good friends. We don't have bad blood or anything like that. But I just remember I just didn't feel good enough for him. Like he had mentioned something about, Arsenio Hall asked him who was the prettiest girl in Hollywood. Mm. And he said Jada Pinkett. And I was like, okay, you know, and this was like before Inkwell even came out. I was up for Inkwell.
So you went against Jada?
Yeah.
Oof.
I know, right?
That was tough.
I know, right?
But you can honestly say you went up against Jada Pinkett, though.
At least yeah.
Yeah. That alone speaks for itself and like your talent and credibility. But how did that make you feel like when you watching TV and you see this, like for this young girl, you just starting out, think we all want to be important. All of us want to be accepted. We want to be enough.
I didn't know what God had in store for me, but it was much better than Lorenz. I got to work with LL Cool J, so I don't care. I mean, I got a way better leading man out of it, I think. At the end of the day, God just gave me a better...
Lorenz gonna be hopping to your DMs letting you have it. So how did it make you feel with Lorenz when you're watching Arsenio Hall and he said what he did about Jada?
Yeah, my heart I My heart sunk. And
Did
honestly,
it really?
I did. It did a little bit. It hurt a little bit. It was like, okay, so.
Yeah, but do you think he like might have said it for like political reasons?
He might have said it just to make me mad. I don't know. I couldn't figure him out. I can never figure Lorenz out. I never really figured him out. We're not from the same part of the hood, but we are from the same hood. But like, we're just not from the same part of the hood. I don't know.
I got you. So we go through this, and now it's time you graduate high school, and you've accomplished so many things even before leaving high school, right? Mm-hmm. So now we go to college. What was that like? Where did you go?
Like you said, I got great SAT scores. I applied to 7 different colleges. I got 7 acceptance letters. I mean, I didn't apply to Harvard or something like that.
You probably would have got in.
But I don't know. I don't know. But, I got into like UCLA and NYU and Howard and Spelman. And, that was really good for me. That was good for my mom. She was pretty proud of me. And I got to really, I had an opportunity to live in New York and study at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. So that was like where I went with my life after high school.
So when you say that, correct me if I'm wrong, Danny DeVito.
I think Danny DeVito was a graduate of the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. It's a secret society school. It's one of those schools where like they gear the actors for the academy.
Okay.
And some actors that I've mentioned that had studied there before me, and that was part of the idea of graduating from there was so you get the similar education and training, and the tricks, and like the ins and outs of the business from that. They taught you Shakespeare and all kinds of things. Aeschylus and who else? Tragic Flaw, Tragic Flaw, Tragic Obsession.
Is it hard work?
It is. I was the only black girl in the class. Oof. And I was often the only black girl in my film class and a lot of classes. So how
did that make you feel? Did you feel lonely?
I didn't feel lonely at all. I go home to my homegirls, so it was all. I just tell them everything I learned, And I remember one class towards the end, I couldn't stop taking my braids out, like in class. It was so rude, but I just did it anyway. And they were like, they just ignored me. They're like, we know Maia. She's just.
And so what happened there, like with NYU? Because I know you didn't end up staying there.
I didn't stay at NYU because my housing situation fell through. Like, we were illegally subletting at this Hudson River apartment on York Avenue, 91st, I think. I guess that's the Hudson. I think that's the Hudson, yeah. And we were living there, and then the girl wanted her apartment back because she was coming back to school, so we kind of had.
So y'all were subletting.
We were subletting, illegally subletting this girl's apartment from this college in Manhattan, and we had to move to the Lower East Side, and it just wasn't the same. And I said I couldn't do this anymore, so my mom said, "Go to Georgia, go to Atlanta, and you'll love it."
I said, LA to Georgia.
I didn't even know I was accepted at Spelman, but she said, "Yeah, I got the letter right here. You can go down there."
Mm. Yeah. And so you pull up to Spelman, coming from LA and NYU. Atlanta's a totally different culture.
Yeah.
What was it the culture shock? Because
I didn't get a good taste of the culture, a broad view of it.
Okay.
I got a very kind of small perspective. I just picked one friend and stuck to her like glue, and we kind of bared it together. All we did was we had a very little to do with the broad perspective. There were a couple of parties and things to go to in the parking lot and stuff like that. Spelman looked totally different. It had It had a place called Gutbusters.
Oh yeah.
It was like,
Listen, if you can't tell, I eat Gutbusters almost every morning.
Fridays the wings were 25¢.
The gut has busted.
Yeah, like they didn't have the parking structure, and they didn't have the Camille Cosby Center, and they didn't have the Samuel L. Jackson Performing Arts Center, and those things were all brand new.
So when you went to Spelman, like what was your like area of study? Because I was right across the yard at Morehouse.
Drama. Yeah, theater.
So okay, you jump into theater. What is that like?
They made me the lead in the fall production
of
Sparkle.
You were Sparkle?
Yeah, I played Sparkle.
Let me find out.
Yeah.
So you had to sing?
Yeah, I had to sing at the end. It was good. It was a good musical that we put on. A group of us put on. There was a girl there, Erica Tizell, and she's now working. She was in my class, and she just did a film with Omar Epps.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So I know where you were at Spelman. The legendary Debbie Allen came to do a residency there. What was that like? Like, it was Debbie Allen. She'd already done Fame. She'd done so many other things, A Different World, all of these things. And like, here she is. You can like touch her. What was that like?
God put Debbie in my life so many different times. When I was in high school, I saw her in a play at UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Then she came to Spelman, like you mentioned, and she did a residency, and she was really only working with the seniors, and I was a freshman at the time.
Okay.
So I guess she found out I was in Sparkle, and she raved about it to Quincy, and Quincy already knew me from his daughters. We all went to school together. So he may have heard of who I was, worked with Lorenz Tate and the show South Central. That was really my biggest credit at the time. And they called me to do In the House with LL Cool J and Debbie Allen.
Now, every man in the world fell in love with Tiffany Warren on that show. You know that. And it's just like, that show launched you through the stratosphere. Because I remember when it first came out, it landed on NBC.
Right.
And it was right after Fresh Prince, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was like I remember the premiere and everything.
When the new producers came on the show, they hired some of the actors from Debbie Allen's sister came on, and Alfonso Ribeiro came on, and
it was so many. Like, what was it?
Lark Voorhees.
The Jeffersons.
Yeah, the Jeffersons came on. Yeah, a lot of Lisa Ray.
Yeah.
We had a lot of stunt casting, and we had some amazing actors come through. Matter of fact, what's the sister from Love and Basketball? Sanaa. Sanaa. Yeah.
Regina Hall too, right?
I don't know if she was on there. I can't remember. But we had a lot of cast. We had a lot of amazing cast members.
So you land on this show, LL Cool J. Kim Wayans.
Yeah.
Lark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Debbie Allen, you play her daughter. You have LL Cool J at the time. He's running the charts. He's really jumping into acting, right? Mm-hmm. What was it like having the opportunity to like really work with Debbie one-on-one? Did she teach you some things? Did she leave you with stuff? Like, what was it like working with her?
She was so graceful and kind and kind of like a mother, but a goofy, hyper, happy to spank on you, happy to love on you and spank on you at the same time. She could spank you, boy. She could leave you in a bind, have you sitting there looking like, wait a minute. But she did an amazing job of directing Different World. So she was coming from a point of power. She had a certain amount of power in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't one of the, like I said, people that copied John Singleton. She wasn't one of them. Okay. She had a style that came from a tradition of Black theater that was taught at Howard University, and it's a legacy of understanding that is gifted to a certain generation, and generations throughout time have reillustrated that.
Yeah.
And prove that they deserve that tradition of theater training and camaraderie and fellowship and name values and information and the things that are passed on throughout society to the younger generation.
Okay, so in terms of one thing about Miss Debbie Allen that I personally appreciate is those that are in positions where they can always reach back and help others.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard so many people in interviews, particularly Black women, that talked about how much she really nurtured them and she loved them and she protected them like a lot.
I would love for her to do 72-hour hold. I would love for her to direct it. I would love for Jada and Willow or Beyonce and Blue, some mother and daughter team to come along and pick up this novel and say, I want to carry the torch on this one. I think this is a valuable gift to our audience, to our community, to our culture. To this person is a theater traditionalist.
So when you think about Miss Debbie Allen, what's like your favorite memory?
Oh, when she came on the set with this blue chinchilla coat, she had got her first check, and she came. And she's such a diva. She's such a diva, and then the living room, dancing with her in the living room, and then she just loves to touch on you and love on you, and she's always so capable of making the cast closer.
I got it.
She did
like a real family.
Like a real family. She did it for different worlds. She did it for In the House. She did it for Grey's Anatomy. She's done it for cast. That's why she got an Oscar. She is a catalyst.
Yes.
And she played my mommy.
Yeah. She was amazing. She
played my mommy.
She was so amazing. And then the show goes on. She left after like season 2.
And that was, I was so vain. And I was so caught up in, like, I just didn't know if they were going to bring me. I was just glad they brought me back.
Okay.
I could have turned around and got involved in what it was, but it took me years to find out. And I still don't know why. She and Austin, the character Austin, why they picked up and left. I guess it was financial dispute or whatever was going on. I just tried to keep my nose out of it and keep my job.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the attitude that is also a tradition, you know?
Yeah.
But, everybody can't just jump ship. I think when Todd decided to stay, I just hoped that we would have a decent show for the next couple of seasons.
I know during that time where you were on the show, a lot of other areas of your life were taken off.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people didn't know that you even got a record deal around that time.
I got a 6-album deal with Craig Kalman of Atlantic Records.
Shout out to Craig.
Shout out to Craig.
Shout out to Craig.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
Do you know he just stepped down recently?
He owns Atlantic, don't he?
I would hope. After 90 years up in there, I would hope. But no, he just stepped down. Yeah.
I did a lot of writing. What I got out of it was that as much as I sang in church and did a lot of writing in the studio, I don't know if my focus was... I don't know if I had what it takes to be a star in the record business. I definitely have cut a couple of cute little albums, though. I ain't gonna lie. I cut a couple of cute little records.
So who are some of the people like you work with? Because
I have a song called Queen of the Night that I love. That's the best song that I've done. But I've worked with like Robin Thicke, I work with Brian McKnight, I work with Shantae Moore, I work with Jessica Simpson, I work with Tamar Braxton, I worked with a lot of RL when I did the
from Next?
Yeah.
RL? Okay.
And when I did the video with Jaheim. RL was the one that scooped me up and kind of, embraced me and took me to the studio, stuff like that. I have a million times I've been in the studio. I've been in the studio with Jay-Z. I've been in the studio with T.I. I've been in the studio with Bun B. But you know who didn't like me? Manny Fresh.
What?
I never have an easy time in Texas. I go to Texas. I don't know if they love me or they hate me. They call me out there, but I ended up crying in the studio.
Why? What happened?
I don't know. Manny Fresh treated me like worse than Lorenz Tate. Like, he just treated me.
What happened? Did he just tell you to get out the booth? Was it it was like a feeling?
He walked out on me. He took two girls under his arm. Two Asian chicks.
Oof.
And walked out on me.
Ooh.
And walked out on me. He kind of said I was weird. I think he said I was weird. So,
my goodness. So I know, like, the deal with Atlantic, there was some big names that actually kind of co-signed you and walked you in the door.
Yeah, it was Tricky Stewart and Dallas Austin.
Like Tricky?
Tricky. Whew. Yeah, and Dallas Austin kind of helped me out. I moved in with Dallas. And he was producing a lot of artists at the time. He was producing Madonna. He was working with Khalees.
TLC.
Of course he was working with TLC. Mm-hmm. He was in love with them. And so like a lot of stuff didn't really pan out. I think we went out of the country. We went to South America to work with some other artists. He knew I spoke Spanish. I speak fluent Spanish. And he sent me to Chile. First went to Buenos Aires, Argentina. And then we went to Santiago, Chile. And we worked with a group called Los Demonios. And they wanted to be like the Spanish Wu-Tang or whatever. So I was trying to help them. So it was cool. We worked with them for a while. We went around. I mean, I had a lot of amazing experiences that I value more than a career of selling gold and platinum albums. I just had some great times writing for other artists. And
seeing the dream unfold too, right?
Yeah, seeing a lot of other people reach their goals, you know, and pitfalls. Some of them had a hard time with success, worse than me, you know, and it wasn't something that they wanted to talk about, which is not healthy. You know, I think it's more healthy for you to like be honest with the low blows that come with, you know, with a career of fame and fortune.
So like what happened with the music? Because it was like you were on top, really, especially like with the writing.
When I started with music, I forgot to mention Benny Medina. I started with Benny Medina. He was managing Vivica Fox, J-Lo, Jada, Will, and I was on the management team just for a little while, and I got a couple of you know, it's like in football when somebody gives you a pass.
Yeah, they throw you a pass.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You know, like they threw me here, they threw me there, and that was pretty much like my introduction to the music business. I didn't want to have a lot of I didn't want to collect too many mistakes. I just wanted to be stable.
Okay.
And I was stable with Atlantic Records for a while. I was running all over New York trying to model and date rappers and stuff like that. I don't know.
So wait, no. So you was feeling it during that time. Look, Tiffany was in full effect, huh? You were on a hit show, and it comes with a lot more opportunities even outside the music. Here comes the music videos.
Right. And
many of us remember that first video, that pretty brown skinned girl walking on that bus for Tyrese, and some of us was ready to fight him. What was that like? How did that opportunity come about?
Not ready to fight.
We was ready to fight.
Not ready to fight. No, that was it was surprising, the success and longevity that the image of this Black boy from South Central with his shirt off, You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
tearing it up, the sex symbol Tyrese. You know, it was. I'm grateful of the longevity and the success of that song. They won't stop playing that song on the radio.
No,
Like
I just saw him recently at the Brandy concert,
and he
right?
was at the
He
the
was there.
Boy
He
Is
came
Mine
out.
tour. I
He came
mean,
out. That music dropped. The whole audience yelling, screaming, "Sweet Lady!" Like,
everybody
it was
sings that
insane.
song all
Pure
over the
insanity.
world. It's humongous success. And then, he had the success of the Fast and Furious movies.
But my question to you is, how did an opportunity like that come about?
I was with Benny Medina and Tracy Edmonds, and one of them, somebody was managing me. I think it was Tracy, and of course, she produced the movie Soul Food, and she was trying to produce movies, and she was married to Kenny Babyface Edmonds,
The legend,
the
icon, really.
And I was linked in with them pretty tough. Like, I was linked in with Babyface for a long time. He knew me as a teenager. He had me on a writing team with Tricky Stewart, so I was kind of locked in with some people that were on that trajectory towards music iconish, and they were creating icons. And if you weren't an icon in the making, you probably weren't dealing with these people.
So what was that call like?
The call was cute. I mean, I went downtown to LA, and
who called you though?
I think Tracy told me in the office. I used to come up to Tracy Edmonds' office quite often, like every day. Like, I would spend a lot of time in Tracy Edmonds' office, and I was working with management, Evan Haney, and Benny Medina had an office not far away, so if it was from one office to the next, you just go up there and see what they had for you. I mean, even Suge Knight had Death Row Records right there, it's right in the center of, like, Wilshire Boulevard, Cahuenga, Sunset. These areas were like, you kind of like, you did your rounds.
Okay.
When you're an actor in the or a performer in the business at the time, even the radio station was right there on Wilshire Boulevard. Power 106 was right there. One time they were talking about me on Power 106, and I was driving by, and I said, "Wait a minute, I'm going up there." And you just go up there because you are who you are. You can just stop by.
Okay. So Tracy gives you this call, says, "What? I got a music video." What she said?
Yeah, I went up there to see what she had for me, and she said, "Yeah, I got a guy who's got a deal with Coca-Cola. Maybe we can put you in his." She saw me enough to want to put me in pocket and get me, on stage with this guy, and not on stage, but like on a set, know. Yeah. And
so what was it like? You pull up, you meet Tyrese for the first time. What was it?
He was shy, but he had his shirt off.
Here we go with that.
He was in dance rehearsal with his boys, and he was in this rehearsal in this living room, somebody's living room, and they told me where he would be, and they wanted me to meet him before we started working together, and we instantly had like chemistry. I don't know if we were just young, dumb, and know what.
So my question is, and everybody really want to know this. You gotta keep it 100. We're gonna wake it up.
What? Wake it up.
Did y'all mess around? Because hold on.
Wow.
Let me tell you. You know how some people, you see them on camera, right?
Right.
And it's like, they got something going on.
Right.
It was a little too good.
I don't think it's a mystery. It's kind of obvious.
Okay.
I was in both of his videos, so like, yeah.
Sweet Lady and Lately, right?
I was his girl for a while. I mean, even after the second video, we kept messing around. I mean, you're supposed to kiss and tell, but this was years ago. But still, like, to this day, like, he would come looking for me, like, no, but I mean, it is what it is. Like,
so how did it kind of like end? Because I know you started dating somebody else, and then you pulled up, and they were jealous.
I don't know. What is he doing right now? Call him, ask him. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. Like, I mean, I'm not engaged to anybody right now.
So y'all was in a situationship.
Situationship, yes.
Situationship.
Yes, definitely.
So I know you later got into a relationship and you tried to see Tyrese again. What happened there?
When did I try to see him again?
With your ex?
Oh, okay. So what had happened was...
What had happened?
I was preggers and like I went to the concert and I didn't know he was gonna be there, but Nate Dogg had died and Tyrese had like replaced Nate Dogg on stage at the Chronic Tour. So this was like back in 2000 and like years ago. Like I mean, he was on stage singing Nate Dogg's part. With Eminem was on stage and like Dre was on stage and I guess Snoop was there and Cube. All the West Coast guys were there. And so we were walking past, after the concert, we were walking past.
You and your ex?
Me and my...
Well, the boyfriend at the time.
My daughter's father were walking past the trailers. And I guess Tyrese's name was on one of the trailers or whatever, however it was. He was like, there you go. Go up in here, tell him you pregnant by me. And he was mad. Like, he was like telling me like, I'm like, I'm not knocking on that man's door, like with you right here with me. Like, so we like walked past his door and like, we kind of had a fight about it. Like, it was kind of sad, like, but.
So, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, we had the relationship with Tyrese, but it's like everything you touched was iconic to the culture. You might not have known it at the time, but it was so dope because there was something that a lot of people say, you better bring this up to her. You better talk to her about this. Ladies' night.
Ladies' night.
Ladies' night video.
Yes.
How did you get that? Because I'm talking about Queen Latifah, Escape. You had Changing Faces.
Tiny.
You had, I said Escape. Yeah. And then you had so many Missy, Brad.
Yeah.
Angie Martinez, Kim, of course, you know.
Left
Eye in this video, right? How did that come about? Like, you show up, where'd y'all film it? Like, people want to know everything. No one knows anything about this.
I think that was from Dallas. Dallas told me, it was like Dallas boy drove me to Miami, or we flew. I can't remember how we got to Miami, but we were at the Four Seasons in Miami and we booked it or something like that. I don't remember how it happened, but we were at the West Palm Beach or Miami. We went to Miami one time, but then we went back to West Palm Beach because that's two different parts of Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, two different parts of Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it like on set? Because you got all this female energy. Everybody at that time was top tier. Everyone was on the charts, everything.
Little Kim, I remember... Left Eye was dyeing her hair red, and like nobody was doing that. I was like barely paying attention, but we walked in. There was like a salon in the hotel, and she was like dyeing her hair this Kool-Aid color red, and nobody was doing that at the time. Like I felt that was so like premiere, like that was just next level. Like I don't remember anybody doing that. Like, so I just noticed Left Eye was doing things that nobody was doing.
I agree. Now that I will agree with. She definitely pushed against.
She pushed the envelope on style and artistry
and didn't back down.
Yeah, she was dope.
Do you feel like? Because I can speak for me. Like many would say, Corey, you've gone on, you've done amazing things, and it's easy to like check out on your blessings. Very like. Do you feel like sometimes, because I've been guilty of this, that like we don't really live in the moment because we're constantly like, the next thing, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. Do you feel like you sometimes maybe did not live in the moment? I know I can say that.
Yeah, when I was in my addiction, I was really suffering behind the loss of my mother. And I turned to whatever, like, again, it was not a gift. The drug that I chose was not a gift. In my pain and in my delusion, I said, oh yeah, this is great. This makes me feel good. This makes me
in the moment,
forget the pain. But it makes me turn my back on so many healthy blessings that are truer towards my progress, truer towards my faith and my God. You serve a living God. You don't just serve each other. You don't just serve yourself. So when you come to that understanding, when you decide to come to that understanding, the pressure is off to do the right thing. It's just more automatic.
I got you.
And I still have severe emotional distress about the losses of my parents.
Yeah, that has to be tough.
And the embarrassment I caused myself when I wasn't focused. And, when I was out there looking like Unc, on the dead homies, I had to take another look at what God created. And like you said, it could be so much more. So you put it back together and put it back on the shelf and hope this time that you're the gift for somebody else to, and that, you know what I mean? Did I twist it all?
No, you didn't. Can I say something?
Yeah.
I have known you for a very long time. And I know what you have really gone through. And I will say, today I'm very proud of you because people don't know the hell that you have been through. People don't know how many people used and abused you just because they could, even when they knew it wasn't right. You know what I mean? And stuff like that has made me really like stick by you. And I know sometimes like even in our relationship, I can come off tough or you be like, Corey, you're a little controlling here. Let me do that. It is my protection for you because I recognize that like, just think about like when we started and you've seen me grow up, hell, like where I've come from, but there was Grandma Lil. There was certain people that they're not around anymore. And I feel like all of them gave me a little something in our conversations, like, take care of this baby. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want you to really, so I know sometimes you might not always receive me the best, but just know I've done the best that I could with what I know. And I will forever have your back as long as there is breath in my body. I don't care what none of these people got to say. Because, again, me and you have rocked it out. And there's only things that me and you will take to the grave that we know. You understand?
Yeah. Like when you almost killed me on the freeway today.
Oh my God! I did not
talk about that,
trying to hurry up and
Don't
get
talk
you
about
here,
that,
right? No. We might have to
Leave
cut
that
that
out,
We
right?
might have to cut that out. I don't make no mistakes. But honestly, with everything, you just not only do you mean a lot to me, you mean a lot to the culture. I know you don't always feel it.
I do
You don't
sometimes.
always see it.
Because of you.
Do I? I be hyping you up?
Yeah, hype me up.
I do. Now that I do.
Hype me up.
Because I think it's important that, like, I see you as, like, a friend and family first.
Okay.
And then everything else is extra. I think, what would I do for my mother? What would I do for my sister? What would I do for that stranger on the street? I mean, I would stop and help and do whatever. You know my heart. You know how I get down. But enough of that for right now. We enter into the late 90s, 2000s. And there's another iconic motion picture that you were a part of. 17 Again. With the Mowry twins. And you know that line that whenever we go places, what people tell, what's that one line? They always say, something, wrong question, different answer.
Rewind. Yeah, that was cute. Yeah.
Tell me, go ahead. You might as well go through with the line now.
Tia and Tamara, those are my sisters. Like, they are so hood. Like, they cool as fuck. But, like, no, like, we went to Canada and we had a blast. I got to meet their mom, of course, their brother. And I've always known them because we all worked on the Paramount lot originally. I think they were at Warner Brothers, actually. But The lots were so close together. We used to get to see each other. I went to do Soul Train or something like that on the Warner Brothers lot. That was the first time I got to see their name in lights, their name up there, the sister show. And I met them. No, I met Tia. No, that's a lie. I met Tia and Samira when we were 12. When I met Ray J and Brandy, we all met each other at a young age. Like, Tia and Samira hair was like long as hell. Like, their hair was super long. They were super goofy, and they were super pretty, and they were super excited. Like, they just wanted to tell you what was going on.
Yeah.
And they just run up to me and talk to me at auditions, and they were like the only ones that really talk like at auditions. A lot of the girls were too stuck up to even conversate, but these girls were just so open and like kind, and like then I found out they knew how to crip walk, and I was like,
whoa, wait a minute, hold on.
But they call it Christ walk. They said they learned at their church.
So you trying to tell me Tia and Tamara can crip walk?
Hell yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Y'all was crip walking in Canada.
I still can't crip walk. I don't know how to do it, but they
after this I'll teach you.
Okay, so yeah, I'm still learning how to sea walk. But
I'm just over here like, you know.
Yeah, so we went to Canada.
They gonna have to do it.
Boys to Men was there. Don't forget Boys to Men was there. The director was Jeff Bird, and we had a ball. We just shut down Toronto. They call it TO. There's a lot of Jamaicans out there. It's like mad cool, mad chill, you know. And I think I hit me some weed on the set. I'm not even gonna lie.
In Canada?
In Canada. It's like legal or whatever. Yeah. I think in TO. I don't know. So, Toronto. Shout out to Toronto. Yeah.
But, I mean, to be a Black girl and you're with Disney at a time, Disney was Mickey Mouse Club. Disney was, they ain't look like us.
Right.
At all. You and those ladies.
We broke ground.
Yes, y'all did.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all did. Open doors. Look, I still get on Tubi with my sister. I've introduced my nieces to 17 again. And you met my niece Aubrey. I know her. Yeah.
Aubrey's so cute.
Aubrey is everything, y'all. She's everything.
Shout out to Aubrey.
Yes. So even around this time too, another crossover role, and I think people skip over this one, but not me. And it's Beverly Hills 90210. It ain't none of us in 90210.
No.
In real life.
No.
So even to see you play this role, come on, Maia.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think I was like the only Black girl that's ever even been on that show. I don't know.
I think Vivica Fox did it.
Was
too.
Vivica Fox on there? Was Garcelle on there?
Maybe. I'm not too sure.
It was
but I do know
one
Vivica
of us.
did it.
It was like one of us or two of us were on there. And I worked with Jason Priestley. I think he put in the kiss. I don't think the kiss was in the script.
Okay.
He just wanted to kiss me.
You were bomb as hell. What you mean? Like, who wouldn't?
He wanted to kiss me to make me shut up, I guess. And he like kissed me or whatever. It was really cute. And it was a scene about this girl who worked at the library who was fed up with her position and wanted to be a writer. And then they brought me back actually for the next episode. I played a successful college student who had written something and became an author. So they made me out to be this successful person who had come from the library and had met Jason Priestley, and then
Jason Priestley,
you're
right?
famous. I became a well-known writer, and I gave a speech, and I haven't seen Jason Priestley work that much since in the show, but I heard that he was like the president of the Screen Actors Guild or something.
God, shout out to him for that.
Yeah.
And I want to say, like, how amazing that was to be one of the handful of Black people to be a part of one of the biggest franchises and shows in history.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I was working with an amazing agent. I forgot to tell you this. But
who was that?
there was an agent named Harry Gold when I was 13. His daughters had been on integrated black shows. One show was Benson and one show was Growing Pains.
I remember Benson.
Okay, so you know Missy Gold and Tracy Gold, those were his daughters, and he had his own agency while this woman working under him was named Bonnie Likey, and she was my agent, and she made partner after my success with her. I was like one of her star clients. She got me the IBM commercial. She got me the Dr. Pepper commercial. She booked me for 17 magazine. I did a girls scholarship contest. I was the spokesmodel on 17 magazine. So yeah, she booked all of that for me, and I was like I was supposed to be on the cover of 17 magazine, but I was on the contents page.
The fact that you even made it in there,
17
I don't care
magazine.
if it was the corner 17 magazine.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't a lot of us.
Yeah.
In 17 magazine.
Exactly.
That was like a dream. So Brian Austin Green recently just came out.
What did he say?
He was dating Tashina Arnold.
When?
During the 90s. But hold on.
Really?
Hold on. Hell yeah. And she said, so catch this, nobody knew about it. They were madly in love with each other. And he recently came out and said he responded to her telling people about it, that she told everybody to keep it on the low.
Okay.
Because of the times that they were in, but they were madly in love with each other. Isn't that crazy?
I had no idea she liked her.
I was just sitting here like, that was the weirdest, like
combination.
But hey, they said it was working, but I think it was just more so.
Well, Kim Wayans is the same way. She would go to Italy and meet one of those boys from Positano, honey. She wanted her an Italian man, honey. She never came back from Italy. I don't know what she. Yeah.
That's crazy though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're going to fast forward a little bit, and then here we go, and we're in the 2000s, right? And a lot has changed. We look at traditional sitcoms, 70s, 80s, and especially the 90s. Everybody was beautiful and brown and black, from Fresh Prince, Parenthood, Cosby. You think Good Times, all of these classic shows, everyone was brown, like a black family. Family Matters. And now we're entering into the 2000s, and now a lot of the lead girls are mixed chicks. They're Brazilian and Belizean and Honduran, and you know what I mean? Kardashian. How was that shift for you?
Well, I had a lot of that going on in my own family. I was kind of introduced to that at a young age. My grandfather was an American Indian.
Okay.
He wasn't one of us. And then I just, I had an aunt who was Latina, and I had a housekeeper who was Latina, and my mom, she wasn't as brown as me. So I was used to the acceptance of colorism. Plus, I was taught through, my godmother was a part of an organization called AKAs, and they had a long legacy of learning how to accept your sister no matter what color she was.
Yeah. And
so I never really hated my color or hated somebody for their color. Everybody says they're colorblind. Everybody pretends to be colorblind. And deep down inside, maybe you do have a certain distaste for somebody because of their color. I don't know, but I was taught against it. I was really taught other ways to cope. If you ever have that feeling that this is something aesthetic or this is something generic that we can pick on this person about, go the other direction with that feeling, to try to cope with that feeling in other ways. We'll find out, is that the root of that feeling, or you know what I mean? To judge somebody because they're light skinned or to judge somebody because they're dark skinned is really it's a character defect. So you shouldn't have something like that going on with yourself,
So
because it just holds you back. It holds you from seeing the truth about what the truth about yourself. It's a character defect. It takes away from it takes away from your value as a person if you have that kind of thing going on.
2000s, you started to feel a little different. You were going through some things mentally. And I know you've shared with me how you were diagnosed with bipolar. But for the audience, bipolar and mental illnesses are now getting much needed recognition that it didn't once get. Can you explain sometimes like what it is, what you can often feel, and things that people can kind of look to see, like signs in others?
Mental illness can be detected as early as childhood. There are many books written about psychology that describe the different levels of psychosis,
Mm-hmm.
what narcotics and street drugs can do to a person mentally, what alcohol does to a person mentally, what divorce and sometimes termination of a job, loss of a pet. It ranges. There's so many things that can trigger a breakdown.
Yeah.
I'm not a psychiatrist, but I know a few. And these are the things that they tell me that maybe it's better to talk about things sometimes.
Yes.
If you can find a way. Sometimes medication is necessary. Sometimes your sleeping patterns are a good determination of your level of mentality. If you're capable of withstanding a relationship, if you're capable of tolerating your job stress. These are all just different aspects of mental illness. When I was a little girl, my parents got divorced, and that was one of the triggers that made. I used to pull my hair out. I used to just snatch my hair. I was like 3 years old. I snatched it out.
Oh, man.
And I think I fell down some steps or something. I would hurt myself a little bit. But I got the help I needed by a lot of child psychologists, and there are some really good child psychologists, and there's some really good people that work in the mental health business. It's an industry, and if you're battling mental illness, you have to stay on a healing journey.
Yeah.
And you have to pronounce. And you don't have to tell the world,
yeah.
but you have to accept. You have to learn some tolerance and some acceptance, and exhibit a certain amount of. There's exercises that you must do. Like, for example, I had to learn how to meditate every morning. I had to stop and talk to God before I get in my head. I had to stop and pray every morning. Some people pray at night. I pray in the morning mostly. But it depends on the person, what's good for you.
Okay. I get that. And shout out to your mom too for the advocacy work that she did. Explain the month of July. Why it's so important.
The month of July, Congress, before my mother died, she was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize, and she was also declared by Congress the Minority Mental Health Month of July. They gave her a month. B.B. Moore Campbell, July is B.B. Moore Campbell Mental Health Month. And it basically Minority Mental Health Month, and it basically speaks to the Latin and Black community and the people of color, Asian community that their specific psychological needs are indigenous to their community, not indigenous to their community, but that their needs are indigenous and it's community relatable.
Okay.
Like it's something that the community has to stand together to try to provide the coupling effects of advocacy and sometimes I guess the shelter they need, the touch, the level of hope that they bring to each other to try to relieve the pain of having those not so good feelings about yourself, those not so good feelings about your job, those not so good feelings about your life, how to manage your life. This is a community that's trying to help it. It takes a village. So
we're now coming to a point where you're experiencing things and life and opportunities aren't as great. What was happening during those time periods?
I have to say, like, personally, I was blaming myself, and the loss of love that I had for, like, I guess, like, my daughter's father and those kind of people. I pulled away from my grandmother, and I should have been there for my mom. But this is also sad. But, I mean,
it's real life, though.
It's true. It's how I really was dealing with a divorce that I felt like I never, I never planned for it. Thank you. I never expected, because something is in your heart doesn't mean it's gonna be by your side.
Oof.
And it's like this love is still in me, but I look around and it's not there. So
especially when you plan forever.
And so it affected my relationship with my daughter.
A lot of people didn't even know you were married.
I don't remember getting married. Did I get married? We eloped.
Okay.
And we got married in Vegas. And what I don't remember is getting divorced. That's what I keep telling people. I thought I was still married.
Okay.
But evidently I signed something. I don't remember. I just, I had a wild life. So, bruh, like, I don't remember, like, exactly when it ended. But I remember we got hitched in Vegas, and I remember we went on a honeymoon and stuff like that. So I never really had like the proverbial horse and carriage and all that. You know,
do you want that? At this point, do you want that
about
now?
that. Rihanna be like, "Fuck your horse and carriage." I be like, wow, like, thank you for saying that, because, like, I needed to hear that. Like,
do you want that in your life now? Like, do you want marriage?
Child, next question.
What? No?
I didn't say no.
No?
I said next question.
No, she's like, All right. So, your daughter, Elisha, that's my girl. You know that. That's my partner in crime. She's a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. I think we get each other. Yeah. We are like the. What is your relationship like with your daughter now?
We're in therapy, so it's a lot better than it ever was, really. Yeah. It's a lot better than it ever was. There was a time when I would come home from treatment and I would barely know her, and they say, like, the president doesn't get to see his sons. There's a lot of things that go on in those secret societies when they make you rich, but they take something away from you so important. Careers come before people's kids sometimes, sometimes, or just your obligation to the state at the time. You got to go to this class, or you got to, people in jail don't get to see their kids no more, So these are the things that life can teach you at a certain age. I'm not old or whatever.
No.
But, like, these are the things that life can teach you. That is not always fair, but but don't ignore the people that are living their life right, and they're raising their kids correctly. And no shade to those people. I don't want to make it seem like they don't exist just because I had a hard time raising my kid. I know there was a better way for me to be. And
she loves you down
and
to the
she
ground,
loves me a lot now.
She do. It makes me feel so good when I talk to you. You're like, oh, we texting and we talking and we this. And then she
we
texting.
Talk every day.
Do you know how?
Yeah, we come a long way.
And she's grown. So those people don't talk to their grown kids every day.
Yeah, there was a time when I picked up the phone from rehab and I called her. I was in a locked facility. And I called her and I said, Elisha, she said, what? I said, are you okay? And she said, yeah. I said, who's there? She said, nobody. And that hurt me to the core because she was like 7 years old. You know, and I was like, dang. But she's a model now. She's gonna be like, she's gonna be a little big.
You.
I told her, look at Zoe Kravitz. Why can't you do that?
She be chilling for her. She too cool for school.
Yeah.
My thing is, have you found, like, in this new place, I know, with therapy and coping skills and stuff, have you, like, found a way to, at least with your daughter, like, the forgiveness of self?
Yeah, I'm learning to forgive myself. The more I stay away from things that diminish my self-worth and throw myself back into the character defects that I might have, I have to forgive myself even then, even if I do make that mistake. But so far, so good. It's been about 6 years for me to stay away from the harsh elements, you know, that were dragging me down. And if I can continue to stay clean.
You will continue.
You know what I'm saying?
You will
like,
continue.
you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm trying to say, like, if I can continue to stay clean, you know, like, I think it builds character. I think it builds my resistance to have that paranoia, to have that suspect behavior, to have that adverse attitude that's only going to cancel out the gifts that God wants to give me in my progress. Cancel out my progress. I like progress. I like getting along with my daughter. I like waking up and not being hungover. I like being in the now, present, and being a spokesperson for mental health. It feels good to have something worthy to talk about, on a dead homies. Like, seriously.
You and these dead homies.
On a dead homies, it feels good, bro. Like,
what I want to say, and I want to touch on this lightly, because I want us to talk about it right now, and for no one to ever ask you about this stuff again. There have been videos online that have not been the best. You weren't at your best. When you saw those videos, what was that like for you?
It was heart-wrenching.
I know.
I used to wake up every day in pain from just the image of me at the gas station dancing around, like, to look at myself and my addiction with bad dental work and all kinds of tragic police pictures and stuff like that. It just, I knew what, I don't want to get too deep.
If I can say something, I remember you don't even remember this. You called me one day and I was like, what's wrong? And you was like, I don't really sleep well because I think about those videos and stuff and it give me nightmares. Let me say this. I know I gave you some encouraging words and it took a lot to break me down. But when we hung up the phone that day, I cried because I said, for the first time, I couldn't protect her.
Yeah.
As much as I showed up, as much as I tried to do, a lot was out of my control. And it broke my heart to see my square bear that way. For those that don't know, we call each other square bear. That's it's okay though. Can I give you a different perspective though?
What?
I think your story is the story of hope. And I think that when we go through it sometimes, we don't recognize the work that God is really doing for the better good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what you thought was embarrassment, what you thought was shame, To see you sit here today, young lady, looking as good as you do, you have functionality, you have your brains, you have everything. That alone is showing the power of what God can do. What if that's the story? What if the world got to see you in a way that, oh, she's on top? What if the story is God using you? And he has so much more. What we gonna do, we gonna leave all that other stuff that we talked about today, even some of the good, we gonna leave it behind, because guess what? I believe in my heart that God has so much more for you. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing. How amazing is it gonna be when you can be present in your blessings, because you're not drunk, because you're not high, because you're not hungover. You are present and you are accepting God into your life. What if that's the story? You ever thought about it that way?
Yeah.
You receive that?
I receive it.
Okay.
Ashe.
All right. So let me, I know that Iyanla Fix My Life was a time, right? I was right there. What was that experience like? And what do you feel like you took from Iyanla?
It was a victory for her and a victory for me, because Iyanla started writing manuscripts when I was 13. I read Iyanla's book when I was 13. It was just a manuscript. It took all those years and the death of my mother, really, who was her friend, to cultivate a hero, and to, iron sharpens iron. You have to find those roots that you dug up, and you have to, kind of put them where you're going, so they can light your path, so they can you can be in the same bed of knowledge and understanding and wisdom and glory, that you have to walk on a path of light, like you want to walk on that same path, so, but you just have to move it somewhere else, but it's the same journey as your footsteps, as your journey. So that's what Iyanla taught me. She came all the way to Los Angeles. The last time I saw Iyanla was in, I was going to say Pasadena, but it was Philadelphia. And I didn't know she was connecting with my dad. I didn't know my dad was connecting with her to set that up. And you and Lori Reed,
Can I tell you the story about just real quick with that? No one else really knows this but me and this other person. I remember things were looking good. You was getting posted, and I wanted to get you to the BET Awards on the red carpet.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember, this is prior to the time that you're thinking about. And I wasn't getting any callbacks. I wasn't anything. I was like, what is happening? Like, she's doing well. And I am talking to Sonia Norwood and her business partner, who's no longer with us, Rava Harrell at the time. And she broke it all down to me, how everything works. She said, let it go, Corey. There's so much more for Maia. She's still Maia. And it was something about when she said it with Rava, I received it. Like, in that moment, it was very interesting. I was like, okay. In my heart, I let it go. The very next day, I got a call from Oprah and OWN.
Oh, wow.
And that was a lesson to me. Like, wow. And look what came out of that. Shout out to Lori Reed, right? Look what came out. She's one of my best friends in the entire world. And I can't imagine like my life without her, and like what she's helped do through this whole process. She's helped a lot. In real life. In real life.
Yeah.
And I know you probably didn't know how that came about, but that's the story with Fix My Life.
Okay.
And next thing I know, we were rocking and rolling.
All right.
So what's your dreams? Before we get up out of here, the people want to know. Matter of fact, I got something. You know me. I'm a journalist, right? And I do my research. I got my little handy dandy folder here. Don't nobody judge me. This is the first episode. We're going to have our cue cards. And what I wanted you to do, just out loud, I just want you to read these comments real quick.
All right.
These are recent. These for you.
Oh, I know Kathy Kimball.
Go ahead, read.
Okay.
I want you to.
Shantae Pritchett said,
No, not who it's from. Just read the message.
Oh, I hope you know how many people are genuinely rooting for your wellness and happiness. I'm so proud of your progress. You look great. Still as beautiful as you were in that video. God is so real. Back like she never left. When God shows you who's God, this what it looks like. Hey, Maia, you look amazing. This is Sylvia from Roswell, Georgia. Great to see you. LOL. I still have that lip gloss you gave me. LOL. Who is that?
Not your handing out lip gloss. Okay.
Not lip gloss. Blessings, dear. Won't he do it? Ernest Roberts. He sounds familiar. All these people sound familiar.
But there are hundreds and thousands. Pages and pages and pages.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted you to feel it.
Yeah.
Because you are the one. So, most recently, I go to Birmingham for my birthday for the Boy Is Mine tour with Brandy and Monica. And I'm backstage with Brandy. And she's like, oh, what's up? How you doing? Yeah. She's like, oh, my God. You have this Moesha script? It's like an artifact now. And she opens it and she sees your name. And she's like, how is Maia doing? I said, she's good. She was like, she good? I was like, she good. She was like, well, I want you you're going to step over here and you're going to call her and I need to make sure that my girl is good. And then, when you was on the phone with her,
right.
I'm like, they sound like 10-year-olds on the phone. Yeah. You better show up. You better come. And she made sure that we were good and we were taking care. How did that feel to get the love from your peers? Because I know
the
you and
Boy Is
Brandy
Mine tour was so off the chain.
Yes.
On the Dead Homies, it was live. It was like... On my mama, it was tight, for real, because we sat right next to Eris and Deja Harris. That was amazing.
Country Wayne.
They were so well behaved.
Yeah.
And then Scrappy and Bambi was sitting behind us. Akon.
Yeah.
So Ray J was running around acting crazy. So
Flavor Flav.
Flavor
Flav was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kelly Rowland, everybody. Keisha Cole.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How did it feel? We go, Brandy is like, I gotta see my girl. We go backstage. What was that like?
She was so nice to me. She was so genuine, and she showed me how to handle that kind of it was for the first time in a long time. I was in the room with somebody that I knew was so much greater than me that I had to not only behave, don't act a fool, but also take a lesson in greatness and see that God wants you with the winners and that on the chosen day you will be with the winners. You don't always have to be with iron sharpens iron. So you don't always have to be with the winners to be a winner. But when that moment comes, embrace it and really do your best to behave the best you can and show, I had to watch the words that I said and made sure I didn't say nothing stupid,
But you want to know what's so crazy? Just real quick, this is so random. My favorite Brandy moment with you want to know what that is?
What?
Do you remember we were, this was 2013, we were going to all the BET suites? Remember the BET Awards? Was all the gifted suites, whatever? Yeah. And then when we got back, and Never Say Never came on randomly, the song. You remember that?
And we started singing it.
We were singing the hell out of that song. Yeah. And then you was hitting them notes, and I'm looking like, okay, you won't let me have a moment. But okay, But yeah. So,
yeah.
But what do you want next? For the girl who has survived it all, been through it all, you've been covered by God's grace.
I want Jada and Willow to do my mommy's book. I really would love that. I would love to work with James Lassiter or Tyler Perry on a project. I would love for one of my mother's books to become something for the culture, something for iconic for the culture that could impress upon the generation that, this disease, addiction, mental illness is something we can beat and we can still survive without having to live in shame about it. A lot of people couldn't be openly gay before, the 2020, but now you can be a lot of things with this much communication and technology and culture and literature and education. You can pass it on and you can expand upon it so that it makes a statement that you don't have to live in any kind of, you don't have to live the kind of, you don't have to fold in your recovery. You can live in your recovery. You can live in your greatness.
Okay. Good stuff. I want to just speak over your life that there's going to be some amazing things that are going to happen for you. Why you look away?
I'm about to cry.
Don't cry. But no, it's some things that's getting ready to happen. Like, I can feel it. Just open yourself up, like, in your heart to, like, what God has for you. And don't limit yourself. I just want to be with this person or work with that person. God will send those angels your way.
Right.
He has.
Right.
Along the way. I believe in you a lot, actually. I mean, hell, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everything you want, it will come true. Just walk in it and just be the best version of yourself in this space that you can be. Because, young lady, you are here. And a lot of people don't make it through. But you did. And you look damn good.
Thank you.
Look damn good. All right?
All right.